Welcome back to Satisfactory. I'm so glad you're here. Today, we're going to put together an awesome blueprint, specifically for steel. In order for this to start, let's check and see which recipe we want to use, because we do want to use an alternate. So during our 11 hard drive opening bonanza video, we found an alternate recipe for steel. We're going to use some of that compacted coal that we're using for our power plant and some iron, since there's lots of iron around here, to make steel ingots. So this is the one that we're going to be using. Please note, we want to have one belt of compacted coal and 2 belts of iron ore because of the ratios. It's 2 to 1. All right. So we're going to start with our conveyor wall. And since we're building a steel blueprint, we're going to use steel components whenever possible. That's our window in for 2 iron ore. And that's our window in for 1 compacted coal. And then I don't think we have to go crazy. Let's use a concrete floor. Now I'm just gonna square this off. All right, and we will support this and do all that once we get closer to done. The next part is we want to make sure that we have as many foundries as possible. Also, my self-imposed rule means the smoky buildings, smelters and foundries specifically, stay on the outside. Well, the question is, I think first we'll line this up, right? So that's on the edge. Then we'll come over here and we will... No, wait. All right, very important. In this case, we want to have 2... We want the 2 inputs to be shared by both the lines. I'm going to eyeball it and say that's the correct spot. So we want to input from the middle. We're going to have a row of 3 foundries on this side, a row of 3 foundries on this side. Resources are going to come up and then immediately get split. The reason why we want to do that is because if we observe what's going on the belt here, each of these belts is less than the output belt. So that means we're adding to the net amount on the belt. So we can add more here, but if we tried to combine the outputs to a single belt, we would overflow the belts rather quickly. So we're going to keep the 2 lines on separate belts, and then we can merge and split outside of the blueprint. All right, so we want to get... First thing that we're going to do here is we're going to make sure that we use height to build these. So that's our input. We want to... No, wait, this is our output. We want to merge the results of this down the line. Given this, I think we should pull this in to make it a little closer. Like, as close as we can get, basically. All right, and then to check the spacing, we just want to add 2 more. All right, that's done. On each one of these, we're going to take height and build our merger down the line. And then build our next merger down the line. I don't trust this belt for some reason. I don't know that it built right. Let's just connect it one more time. Okay. So there we go. That side is now done. The outputs of this side is complete. So now let's come back over here. We want to do basically the same thing we did on this side. So this is right on the edge. So we'll give this an eyeball. We could probably guess it by looking at this other side. Let's see, what is this? Let's see if we can find the clicks. You don't have to do this, but now it's a matter of pride. 1, 2, 3. So can we go 3 off of this and be in the same spot? 1, 2, 3. If it's not right, no big deal. But I think it's right. So on this side, we want to put in a merger to merge the results down the line. Just like that. Nicely on the edge. And then build 3 more. 1, 2. We'll take height on each of these to build the merger. Even more height. And then we'll connect, 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 connect. Okay. Outputs complete. Now, inputs. What we're going to do on that is we're going to have each machine is going to share each resource with the one directly across from it. Okay, so what we want to do is we want to bring up, using our conveyor hole here, we want to bring up and then split it each direction. Now, in order for that to work, we're going to go in the middle, right? It's in the middle between these two. And it's right in the middle of the available space, right there. Then we're going to go 1 to the off center, like that. And then we're going to put in our lift, and it's going to output stuff from below. And then for each one of these, we're going to put in a splitter. And now this, half goes into here, half goes into there. All right, and then on this side, we're going to do basically the exact same thing, but kind of mirror imaged. Right, so it's in the middle. It's in the middle, and then we're going to offset it by 1. Put in the lift. Put in the splitter. And then connect. Right, so now 2 machines have been connected with material. So let's go ahead and finish that. Now that I've shown you one, I'm just going to do the rest of them. Hopefully a little faster, but we'll see. It's always easier to build in bulk when you don't change the thing that you're building. Right, so go through, you build all the conveyor lifts, then you go through and you build all, or I'm sorry, all the conveyor holes, then all the conveyor lifts. Then you build all the splitters. Actually, I might want to take some height here. Actually, yeah, let's go ahead and take some height. Split. Split. Usually, when you connect the splitter directly to a lift, it's very generous in making sure that it's all going to connect correctly. Just remember when you're connecting these, the splitter does take up one of the holes. Or it literally... It's actually taking up one of the spaces. Now, obviously, it's going to take up the space that you wanted to take up, but if we rotated this here, it would block this entry point. That's all I'm trying to say. All right. There we go. Now, all of these are connected. All inputs and outputs for our 6 foundries are completed. Now, just for the sake of having everything kind of easy to deal with, we're gonna put some walls up. Not a lot. Well, maybe a lot. We're going to leave this last wall open, and you'll see why in a minute. And we're going to leave this bottom row open while we build. All right, so now we're going to have to use our mind's eye a little bit. So we've got iron ore coming in here. Iron ore coming in here from a separate belt, a separate miner, right? These are 2 miners. And then we've got a line of compacted coal coming in up here. Right here, each group of 2 represents our connections. So this 2, we need compacted coal and iron ore. This 2, we need compacted coal and iron ore. This 2, we need compacted core and iron ore. And since these are each their own independent machines, there's no worry about, like, it has to be compacted coal on the left or always on the right. We've got some flexibility there. You'll probably never use that flexibility, but you have it. All right, so everybody's favorite here is, how do you add... What we're going to do, we're going to put that right there, okay? And we're going to connect that with a splitter. Come on. Oh, wait. You want to connect the splitter, you should select the splitter. All right, and then we're going to bring this lift up. So 1, 2, and I suppose we could stick with the outers. Let's try it. And then on this side, what we're going to do is we're going to build... It's going to be a little controversial. We're going to build 3... I want to keep it relatively tight, though. We're going to build 3 of these. Like that. And then we're going to delete the bottom 2. Now, my headcanon says that this splitter is connected to this foundation. Got clipping to prove it. And then it's going to come out of this one. Interesting that it tries to do that. It comes out and into that lift. And then comes out and into this lift. All right, so 3 of our connections are already done. And then I think all we need to do here is get a relatively good 90-degree angle turn here. What have I done? Oh, you know what? This is actually correctable. Like that. And then that goes there. And then this connects there. Okay, so easy mode. We're using the fact that we have height on this to receive compacted coal. At this higher level, it goes in. Half of it immediately goes up to the 2 center machines. The other half comes out and is split 25-25 for a full 100% to the other 2 machines. Now, the nice part about that, relative to the ore, it's a small amount, so it won't be a huge deal. All right, now on this part, a little more complicated, but not so much. What we want to do is make sure that we have our lifts put in place, but we always want them facing inside, right? Because we want to be able to connect both on this side and on this side, and you'll see why in a minute. I'm going to turn this one away so they're not grouped so closely. And I think I want to turn this one away as well so I have a little bit more space. All right, and then we're going to use a merger to connect these. Like that. Okay. And then the idea is we want access for both of these lines. We want both of these lines to access both of or all of these machines equally. We don't want to merge this line into that line and then have only half the line having, you know, one line has full access to the machines and the other one has half. We want both to have full 50-50 access to the machines. So what we're going to do is we're just going to build one little line right here. We don't have to make this a splitter, but we want a 90. So we're going to that there. It's going to connect. Then we're going to put another splitter. Give ourselves a little room. Not a lot. We don't want to go way over here, but, you know, give ourselves a little room. We'll turn it. Then we'll just split into each of those mergers. All right, so this is our bus line. And then each one of these connects in that way. That way, that way. We'll deal with the output of that in a minute. And then here, we're just going to do the exact same thing. Split. And split. And split. Nope. Missed one. Using the grid is a little easier. You know, there's always a question about why you do things. I have no idea why I would select that row. Let's try that again. Split on the line, or receiving the coal. There we go. Much better. Then we'll come down the line here like this. And then we'll come down the line here like this. Okay, so now this line of iron ore comes in, goes here, and each line now has a 50-50 opportunity to feed this machines, or these two machines, right? So it's all equal, nice and balanced. Now this output, this last output connects straight here into the conveyor wall. Because if we build this side by side, you can see that it's going to go from conveyor wall through, it's going to feed these 6 machines, then it's going to output to the next connected blueprint. All right. So that's done. And then what I will do is we will, just for spacing, just so it's a little easier to understand as well. See how this conveyor hole is on the plus? It's on the plus. It's on the plus. So that's straight through, easily connects. And then we'll just dump this one, use another 90. Again, don't have to use a 90, but it will make it easier to connect everything. Like that. Okay, so now this one, it comes in, it gets split into the machines, the results come out, and then it's ready to go to the next copy of the blueprint. So we can just take that out and take that out. It'd be really cool if there were a virtual side here that you could connect to, but I don't need that. So this bottom part is done. We are totally done down here. Let's connect. All right, so that's the other thing to think about. We don't want to finish off this wall, okay? We want to finish this wall, like that. So if we were going to take this blueprint, right, and build it as you see it, and now just imagine taking this whole thing and copying it right next to this. We don't need a wall here because that wall is already represented by that side, right? And theoretically, we might want to take this out so we could have a runway here, but for now, we're just going to leave this here. And if we really want to take that out when you're done, you just take that out and then you have a little walkway where you can walk down. All right, so now that's done. So we don't even need a wall here. And then just to make connecting a little easier, we're gonna take out that little wall. So we can actually walk in here, hit this, and then connect this to the wall, conveyor wall. Then we could, well, probably do this one first, right? Pan our way out of the room. Connect that, then connect that, copy this, and put the wall back. That would be the plan. All right, so now all of our outputs are done. All of our inputs are ready. Everything's being fed. Let's go with power. Whoa. All right, so we have 3 machines. Well, we have 6 machines. Each pole will have 2 power connections available to it. I could do 1 connection, but I'm not going to. Let's see. I do think connecting to the splitter is the way to go here. So that'll be our external power connector. Ooh. Let's turn that. 1, 2. All right, power pole, and then I have my Fixmas lights connected. I'm gonna use those as long as I can. Now, why did it turn on its own accord? I don't like that. Normally I would say use 2 for everything, but we've got a wreath problem here. Might be the longest part of the video. There we go. And here. Then we'll connect our Christmas lights. Then we'll connect that to that. That to that. Boundaries are asymmetrical, so when you put them in a mirror image, they come out a little weird. But as far as we're concerned, it's looking good. So this is connected. Obviously, I see it's connected. And then all the power is distributed. And then we can easily connect another one of these. And there's a little bit of space there, so we can connect them with grace. Okay, and now we're done. That's it. So if you can imagine it, if you wanted to put this right next to it, you just put that there, you would connect that belt, you would connect that power, and then on the other side, you connect that belt, and now you're shipping it down. Okay? When you're using this, be sure to look at, oh yeah, we need to set all of our recipes. You want to check your recipes for belt, contents, items per minute. You don't want to overflow your belt with the recipe that you have. Right, so this one's 37.5. Our current belt speed I'm thinking about something. Our current belt speed is 270, so 270 divided by 37.5 means we can do 7.2, and each one of these belts is 3, so we can do 2 blueprints side by side and still not overflow the belt. At that point, we'd want to pull some stuff off the line to, make pipes or beams or something like that. course, if you do that, you're going to have other troubles. So maybe we just pull off some, send the rest down the line, and then pull some off later. That's what I have to do. But this is done. The only other thing that you might want to consider is if you want to move your power pole, you might put a catwalk in. But honestly, I don't know how much walking around you're going to do around these parts anyway. And it's going to be a nightmare actually to connect it, because it's going to want you to connect it in a place where there's absolutely nowhere to connect it. Let's see if we can say connect it one more time. Interesting that it's going to catwalk to here. And then catwalk crossing. Well, if you really want it, you can get it. But I don't want it. Whoa. I don't want to deal with catwalks in this build. And if you get to the point where you absolutely have to have it, it's easy enough to add after the fact. It's zoopable after all. All right, that's it. I think that's what I'm going to call the perfect compacted steel blueprint. And now all we have to do is call it that. We'll call it compacted steel. Very important after you're done building. Save it. 1x compacted coal belts. We'll call it the input belt count. And 2x iron ore. Okay, select. We want Foundry. And then the color of steel, I think of it as dark purplish blue. All right, compacted steel, belt count, save it. Check the blueprint to see if it's there. That's the coal, that's the steel. Edit, clear the designer. Come back and load it. Make sure it's working. And you're done. That's it. I'm happy with that. Somewhere in here we've got a thumbnail. All right. Well, hey, thanks for hanging out. I do appreciate it. And we'll see you next time.